Yes, well, it was club day today, and somebody... Hello, you're going to say hello? There he is. Somebody wasn't too happy, were you? Yes, Dad was gone today, weren't I? Was I gone today for too long? Yes. So he's currently having a sit-in at the moment because I was gone all day at my game club. So he's currently protesting by having a really good sit-in, aren't you? Yes. So there he is, and he's having his sulk, big sulk, and there he is. There's my boy. Yes, and we love you, and we always do. Yes. There you go. That's my boy. Catch you next time. Good morning, everybody, from the Scale is Broken group. It's John from Brisbane, and it's Sunday and weigh-in day, and, well, what can I say? I'm 104 kilos, or 104.4 kilos. Yeah, so what's that? Nearly 5 kilos in a week? God knows where or where it has come from, but it's come from somewhere. What have I been doing? I don't know. How did it come on? Oh, God knows. Nothing has changed. My activity's still the same. I'm still, I've probably had what's different this time? I think I've had 4 small ciders, and that's been probably about it. That's about been the only change to my eating habits. So that was the only thing that's really happened. Pardon me. It's morning here, so not that it's, supposedly still winter to some degree, but it's almost summer, it feels like. But I've been going for a walk. I've been taking my little man for a walk, my dog Pippin. So we've been going for walks. We've been doing quite a bit of work around the house. It's not like I've been lethargic. Probably been a little more sedentary, I suppose. I've been sitting here working at my laptop here in front of me, doing a fair bit of work for some people. But yeah, I'm just as likely to report that next week I've lost 5 kilos. So my weight, I have no idea what it does. It's my body's metabolism and its capacity to process and drop weight. I just give up. Even the doctor just scratches her head and goes, well, her main concern really is more with the sugar control and with other issues that happen in my life than weight being a major issue, to be honest. I'd love to be, I suppose, 21 and skinny as a rake again, but I mightn't achieve that when I'm incredibly elderly and skinny as a rake again, but then those will be the end days then, so that'll be extremely unappetizing. Yes. But what have I been up to otherwise? I'll probably have somewhere attached to this video me taking my little man for a walk. He gets to visit one of the new residents that's moved in across the road from me. I've got a creek opposite me, and on the other side of the creek's a retirement village, so he gets to meet one of the elderly ladies that's moved in there, which was rather interesting actually. She was telling me that she said she was quite happy to meet the dog, because obviously she said that part of the thing with moving in over there is that they're not allowed to have, they can only have fish and birds. Not allowed cats or dogs or anything else of that nature. And I thought, birds, bet there's a I bet there's a little a line there, because I guarantee if you turn up with a parrot that's got a massive repertoire of extremely good words, because I can remember my grandfather was telling me that we had a parrot called Popeye, and he when they moved to Brisbane here, that he would wake up everybody in the neighbourhood at I think 5 o'clock in the morning, and they sadly had to they didn't destroy him, which was good. My grandfather would never have tolerated that, but they gave him away to a family down at somewhere down at Logan somewhere. I can't quite remember the exact, but anyway, it was down to a farm residence. I think my grandfather knew somebody, or knew somebody who knew somebody, because once again, back in the 50s, everybody sort of knew everybody. Back then it was post World War II, and the network of, you know, was the network of people knowing everybody was extremely strong, and that was, you know, neighbourhoods and everything were really, really tight back then, which was wonderful, and that more or less still existed through to the 60s. I can certainly remember that, with our neighbourhoods being really, really good back then. It was, you know, there was no, you know, I can certainly say I never felt unsafe, but of course times change. But, yeah. So what else have I got to report? My youngest and last child, my daughter Dana, has advised me she's not coming home. Yeah, very sad for me. Mind you, of course, she made this decision 2 weeks ago and kept coming up with excuses as to why she wasn't coming home, and that she'd quit her job. And apparently she was too afraid to come and tell her father that she had made those decisions. And that was very sad for me, to think that she was so afraid to tell me. And the reaction, obviously, that she thought that I was going to produce, which is strange, because she's, you know, when she was living here more permanently, that, you know, the number of times, you know, she's finally told me certain things that have upset her over time, and or that she's tried to hide from me, and that I've, you know, children think they can't hide things from their parents, and they can't, or at least parents who are clued and know their children, you know, and it's almost like you can just see this wave of relief that literally falls off them, and they realise that they were eating themselves apart with worry and, you know, trying to hide, you know, what it was that was upsetting them. And, you know, and once they, you know, once my daughter had told me, you know, it was just relief on her part. You know, I was disappointed, but, you know, what can you do? You can't change the decision or whatever it is that your children have decided to do, and all you can do is give them the support that they need. And that's all a real, you know, that's all a good parent can do, because ultimately your children, when they're of an age, they'll do what they want. You know, I'd have loved my children to, would have been lovely if my children had been more like me, but I don't know, in some respects I think my children are like me, but not quite like me. And it's probably just as well for the world that my children aren't like me. Otherwise there'd be miniature Emperor Palpatines running all over the world controlling it. Oh, wouldn't I wish? Wouldn't I wish? There'd be world peace, there'd be no more problems. Stability would be everywhere. Yes, yes, it'd be a lovely place, wouldn't it? Yes, aren't I mad? But no, it was sad that my daughter has now left, so I'm in the process of cleaning my house up. And in the process, we found my daughter had, when she had her ears pierced, had borrowed one of my wife's pardon me, expensive pair of earrings. And of course my wife, she has early stage dementia, so it's difficult trying to, for her sometimes to remember what she has and hasn't got, or remembers. And of course I can't remember personally what I bought her over, well, what will it be this year, 33 years of marriage, so I can't always remember what I bought her, because she'll flash me a ring or she'll show some earrings and you go, do you remember me buying this, dear? And a good husband will lie and say, yes, of course I remember that. And of course I'm a good husband and I'll say, no, dear, I have absolutely no idea when I bought that. You know, what's the point? You know, honesty in a relationship is what keeps it together. So, oh, hello. You're going to come say hello to the... Oh, you're... Oh, sorry, I was going to bring him up and have him say... You're going to... Oh, hang on. Say hello. He's soaking wet at the moment. We've obviously heavy dew in the backyard. And you're going to say hello? Oh, you're going to big yawn. Hello, Dad. I've got there's people on the other side of that camera looking out. You've got cobbler's pegs and he's wet. Oh, you're wet. He's a gorgeous boy. I'd never... You're more or less going to be my replacement child now, aren't you? You're going to be my replacement child? Yes, he says I will. Yes. That's Pippin. Yes. Ugh. Now I'm going to be drying myself off now for ages. Anyway, that's my week. Looking at everybody else is still posting, which is good. Emma's wedding's getting closer. Oh, pardon me, getting closer and closer. And of course, Emma's a little concerned about the bit of weight that she's put on. And everybody, let's get behind her and hope that she keeps that weight off, so that there's no drama with that wedding dress just before the wedding. Because as we all know, well, just look at me, didn't take much within a week to suddenly whack on 5 kilos. So, and we certainly don't want that to happen for Emma. Who else? Yvonne, her photos are still coming up. Emily and John. Obviously the pictures and everything that were coming from Gen Con were interesting. It was good to see. I had my club yesterday. I got to play 2 games. I got to play the new version of Thunderstone Quest, which played very much like the last one, except for some changes, which was interesting because I kept on saying, well, aren't you supposed to incorporate the monsters within? No, that's gone. And there was a few changes here and there, but on the whole, I thought it was... You know, I said, I think I'll have to go and drag out my old copy of Thunderstone again and play it again, because I've got the complete iteration of one version. I think the previous version to the one that's just been released, I think. So, Pippin, will you stop worrying the puka? Leave it. Pippin, come on. Oh dear, the poor bloody puka will rip his heart out if it keeps annoying him. Well, he keeps annoying it, I should say. Yeah, it's sitting there looking at him going, Anyway. So, yes, I did that. And the other game that we played was... Who Goes... Oh, that's right. Who Goes There? Oh, what a delightful game to play. Based on the novel, or the novelisation, or what the thing was based on as the book. Because apparently they couldn't get the rights for the movie or whatever, but I was just listening to what they were talking about. But Who Goes There? What a delightful game of innuendos, of who, because there's the whole heap of stages of collecting items. You've got to build a fire, or you can build a bonfire to keep yourself warm, to get your stamina back, to not drop dead, obviously, and of course you're trying to find implements to get your helicopter ride back at the end at the end of the phase. And so you're running around, you're doing all these things, and of course you've got to go outside to find, outside can be found some of the parts that you're looking for. And of course when you're outside it's cold, and as you're running around, so you've got these parts of that, and then there's a feeding part where you've obviously got there's a part where there's food. If you don't have the food, then you lose some stamina. But then after the food phase, there's the sleep phase. You got to bunk up. That was part of the highly amusing function, is that you had to bunk up in pairs. 4 blokes, because there were 4 of us playing. It's who's sleeping with who? Who are you bunking up with? I'm not bunking up with you. And it was just silly the way how the game devolved. As we had people playing games at other tables, listening into the conversation as, well, who's sleeping with me tonight? And it was, and everybody's going, what the hell are you lot playing? What's this conversation about who's sleeping with you tonight? And somebody yells out, oh, go have a wank. And I'm thinking, what? Somebody been watching Rick Mail again and Bottom Live, or Bottom series. Anyway, if you're English, you'll know what that means. But it was hilarious. It really was. But no, honestly, Who Goes There was really good. The group of us who played it enjoyed it. We thought it was better than Battlestar Galactica. Because somebody said, oh, it was like, who was the Cylon? But the thing that we liked about it was the fact that you could pass the infection on and that. But as we also took as a consensus, was the game needed to be played a few more times. And it could probably be better played with, I think, the maximum number of players, which I think it could play up to 6. I think it was 6. So it did need that. I think they said it needed that maximum. And of course, soon, I went out there, I went outside and I went, oh, I'll go and investigate. First thing I drew was the encounter, and you get attacked by the thing. And the first infection card I drew, bang, I was the host. They said, what's the chances of John getting it? A 1 in 12 chance. 1 in 12 chance I had it. Wonderful. But no, thoroughly enjoyed the game. Highly recommend it. Anyway, as you can see, I've waffled. I've changed the topic. I was beginning my end speech, and now I've gone to this and talked about games. But anyway, look, thank you, everyone. I hope you're all enjoying your Sunday. Well, it's a Sunday for me. Probably your Saturdays for wherever everybody else is. I don't know. But thank you for your time. I'll see you next week. Signing off, the Honourable John.